Okay, let's open the case file on Flight MH370. Today, we're putting on our detective hats and diving into one of the absolute most baffling mysteries in aviation history. We're going to break down the timeline, interrogate the main theories, and really scrutinize the hard evidence to figure out how a massive commercial airliner literally vanished into thin air. Let's get right into the explainer.
Right off the bat, we need to talk about this crucial number 239. On March 8th, 2014, 239 people, passengers, crew, people with families and lives, boarded a completely standard flight. And less than an hour later, they were just gone. It's so important we ground our entire investigation in this profound human reality, right? We're not just looking at radar blips or engineering anomalies here. We're talking about hundreds of missing lives.
Which brings us to the central question of our case today. How exactly does a Boeing 777 just disappear in the modern age? I mean, think about it. We live in a world where our smart devices track our every step. Yet, with zero distress calls sent to air traffic control and no explosion picked up by global monitors, we have to start by asking how a massive, highly connected machine weighing hundreds of thousands of pounds completely drops off the map. Let's start with Section 1, the incident report, a normal flight. Every good detective starts with the baseline, right? The quiet before the storm. Well, looking at the facts, everything was completely routine for this notoriously safe aircraft. It was scheduled to fly straight from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. The weather, perfectly clear. Maintenance logs, absolutely zero technical warnings. Basically, it was a flawless textbook departure. There was literally no sign whatsoever that this flight would be anything but totally ordinary. Moving to Section 2, tracing the last steps. Let's track the tick-tock of the timeline here, because this is where our inciting incident happens. Minute 0, completely standard departure. Fast forward to minute 40, they make their final routine radio call. But then, boom, a drastic shift. At minute 42, the plane's transponder is suddenly switched off. That instantly cuts civilian tracking. And by minute 45, military radar catches a radical course deviation. In a tiny window of just 5 minutes, this routine journey turns into a total ghost. Just minutes before that digital blackout, we get this crucial piece of audio evidence. "Goodnight, Malaysian 370. Those were the final haunting words from the flight crew. And if you listen to the recordings, there's no panic, no alarm, no hint of trouble. Just a totally standard sign-off right before things took a dark, irreversible turn. Check out this contrast. Instead of heading steadily north toward Beijing on its routine path like it was supposed to, military radar caught something shocking, an unexplained dramatic turn back to the southwest. This wasn't some plane slowly drifting off course on autopilot, right? This was a sharp, deliberate maneuver. Whoever or whatever was flying that jet actively abandoned the flight plan and steered the massive plane right back across the Malay Peninsula. Section 3, the global manhunt. So, trying to figure out where it went, launched literally the largest, most expensive search operation in human history. Investigators deployed an unbelievable array of resources. We're talking massive international search teams coordinating across borders, cutting-edge satellite tracking, massive naval fleets sweeping the surface, and state-of-the-art underwater drones scanning the pitch-black ocean floor. Aviation had never seen a global mobilization quite like it. But despite all that effort, they found absolutely nothing for years. To put this into perspective, imagine systematically searching millions of square kilometers of ocean. That's an area larger than many entire countries. They were looking for something the size of a building, sure, but it was buried under miles of dark water. It was the ultimate needle in a haystack. The aircraft stayed completely hidden, almost as if the Earth just swallowed it. Now for Section 4, interrogating the theories. When physical evidence runs totally dry, an investigation naturally looks at motives. Let's treat these prevailing theories like suspects in an interrogation room. Suspect number 1, pilot suicide. Now, questions were certainly raised about the captain early on, but as we interrogate this, we find zero definitive proof to back it up. Families and supporters actively dispute it, pointing out a total lack of psychological red flags. So, without concrete proof, it's an assertion that is missing the crucial hard evidence. Okay, what about suspect 2, a catastrophic mechanical failure? Did the plane just break down mid-flight? Well, actually, scratch that, because this theory totally fails to explain those deliberate course changes we just talked about. A failing plane fighting a fire doesn't methodically navigate a complex new route off the grid and then keep flying for hours.
The plane's movements strongly imply intent, not an accident.
What if someone hijacked it? If they did, we hit another massive dead end. Usually, in a hijacking, some organization demands something or takes credit to score political points, right? But with MH370, crickets. No group ever stepped forward. The motive is a complete blank, making a traditional hijacking highly improbable.
Which leaves us with the fourth, and honestly, the most unsettling possibility of all, the unknown. It forces us to face this truly chilling reality. A modern airliner with 239 people on board vanished, completely bypassing our incredibly advanced web of global satellites and radar. It's terrifying. It proves that even today, we can still completely lose massive objects right here on our own planet.
Section 5. The physical evidence. Now, every cold case occasionally gives up a new clue, and years later, we finally got a physical break. The agonizing silence was broken when fragments of a plane started washing up on remote beaches in the Indian Ocean, thousands of miles away from the primary search zones. Investigators analyzed them and confirmed a chilling fact. These pieces definitively belong to our missing Boeing 777. The plane didn't just evaporate, it met its end out there in that vast ocean.
But here's the massive catch. While we finally have these confirmed isolated pieces, like a flaperon and wing fragments, the main wreckage is still completely undiscovered. It's like finding a few jagged edge pieces of a jigsaw puzzle, but the core pieces, the black boxes, the cockpit voice recorders, the main fuselage are still totally missing in the deep.
And finally, Section 6. The cold case.
That missing crash site is exactly why, more than a decade later, families are still waiting, and this remains an open cold case. Until that main wreckage is found beneath thousands of meters of water, MH370 will stay one of humanity's greatest unsolved mysteries. The clues confirm the tragic end, sure, but they don't explain the mystery of the journey. So what specific combination of events caused a modern marvel of engineering to vanish into the deep? For now, only the ocean has the answer. Keep questioning the evidence, and we'll catch you in the next explainer.